Welcome to SS2 Agricultural Science, Term 3, Week 1. Greenhouse technology is the practice of growing crops inside a controlled structure, a greenhouse or polyhouse, where temperature, humidity, light, CO2 levels, and moisture can be managed to optimize plant growth. By the end of this lesson, you will define a greenhouse and state its functions, describe the types of greenhouse structures, explain the systems used inside greenhouses, evaluate the advantages and limitations of greenhouse farming in Nigeria, and answer WAEC questions on greenhouse technology. Let us begin. A greenhouse, also called a glass house or polyhouse, is a structure with walls and a roof made of transparent or translucent material, glass, polythene, or polycarbonate, designed to allow sunlight to enter while trapping heat inside. The greenhouse effect in agriculture, solar radiation, shortwave, enters through the glass/plastic. The plants and surfaces absorb this radiation and re-emit it as infrared, long-wave, radiation. Glass and plastic are largely opaque to infrared, they trap the heat inside, the interior temperature rises above the outdoor temperature. This allows cultivation in climates that are too cold for certain crops, important in temperate countries, or allows precise climate control in tropical environments like Nigeria to produce crops year-round irrespective of seasons. Key functions: extends the growing season, crops can be produced even during harmattan or rainy season. Protection, shields crops from rain damage, wind, pests, and insects, physical barrier. Climate control, maintain optimal temperature, humidity, and CO2 levels. Water efficiency, enables precise irrigation, drip irrigation, and reduces water loss. Enables production of out-of-season crops that command high market prices. Facilitates production of high-value, export-quality vegetables, flowers, and specialty crops. Types of greenhouse structures: lean-to or attached. Greenhouse, attached to an existing building wall, uses the wall as one side, cost-effective but smaller. Freestanding greenhouse, an independent structure, can be any size, most common in large commercial operations. Venlo greenhouse, a Dutch design widely used commercially, series of small-span roof sections, maximizes space and light use. Polyhouse, polytunnel low-cost structure using galvanized steel arches covered with UV-stabilized polythene film, most common in Nigeria and developing countries due to affordability. Orientation: in the northern hemisphere, and Nigeria is close to the equator, orient the length east-west to maximize solar gain. Materials: glass, maximum light transmission, durable, heavy, expensive, breakable. Polythene film or polyethylene chip, lightweight, degrades in UV within 3 to 5 years, must be replaced. Polycarbonate panels, lighter than glass, good insulation, twin-wall type, UV-resistant, good for Nigeria's tropical conditions. Interior systems: ventilation, ridge vents, side vents, or fans to remove excess heat in hot weather. Heating: in temperate countries, pipe heating systems. In Nigeria, cooling is more needed than heating. Cooling systems: evaporative cooling pads, wet wall fans, shade nets reduce light intensity and heat. Irrigation: drip irrigation systems deliver water directly to roots, very water efficient. Hydroponics: growing crops without soil, in nutrient solution, can be used inside greenhouses, excellent yields, requires technical knowledge and investment. Crops grown in greenhouses in Nigeria: high-value vegetables, tomatoes, cucumber, peppers, lettuce, spring onions, water leaf, flowers, roses, lilies, chrysanthemums for export and local hotels. Strawberries. Seedling nurseries: greenhouse production of seedlings before transplanting is very valuable. Mushroom production requires specific humidity and temperature control. Greenhouse management practices: temperature control, shade nets in hot weather, evaporative cooling, ventilation. Humidity control, ventilation prevents fungal disease, too humid, misting systems maintain moisture if too dry. Pest and disease management, physical barriers prevent insects, sticky traps, biological control, introducing beneficial insects, fungicides used carefully, closed environment can accumulate pesticide residues. Fertigation, applying fertilizer dissolved in irrigation water, precise nutrient delivery. Carbon dioxide enrichment, CO2 concentration in the greenhouse can be raised to stimulate photosynthesis and increase yields, especially in sealed greenhouses where CO2 is depleted by photosynthesis. Lighting, in countries with short winter days, supplemental LED grow lights are used. In Nigeria, sunlight is generally sufficient. Advantages of greenhouse production: year-round production, protection from weather and pests, water efficiency, high yields per unit area, premium prices for produce, can produce export quality crops. Disadvantages/limitations: high initial capital investment, requires technical knowledge, energy cost, cooling systems, polythene needs regular replacement, limited scale due to cost. Greenhouse farming in Nigeria is growing, driven by rising demand for quality vegetables in urban areas and restaurants, export opportunities, flowers and vegetables to Europe, food security, year-round supply of vegetables reduces seasonal gluts and shortages, government initiatives, FADEMA, NAFDAC requirements for safe produce. Challenges facing greenhouse farming in Nigeria: high cost of construction materials, imported materials, unreliable electricity supply, power needed for fans, pumps, lights, limited technical knowledge among farmers, high cost of drip irrigation equipment, cultural preference for locally traditional open-field farming. Solutions and opportunities: locally fabricated polyhouses using bamboo frames and locally available polythene, solar-powered water pumps and fans, training programs by extension agents, government subsidies and microfinance for small-scale greenhouse farmers, university and research institute pilot projects. Examples in Nigeria: commercial greenhouse tomato farms in Kano, Kaduna, and Jos, flower production for export in Lagos and Abuja, research greenhouses at universities and IITA, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, in Ibadan. Key points: greenhouse, a controlled environment structure for crop production. Principle: solar radiation enters through transparent cover, infrared is trapped, interior warms. Types: lean-to, freestanding, venlo, polyhouse or most common in Nigeria. Materials: glass, durable, expensive, polythene, cheap, degrades, polycarbonate, good balance. Interior systems: ventilation, irrigation, drip, cooling, evaporative pads, lighting, hydroponics. Crops: tomatoes, cucumber, peppers, flowers, lettuce, seedlings. Advantages: year-round production, pest protection, water efficiency, high yields, premium quality. Limitations: high capital cost, energy needs, technical requirements. Nigerian context: polyhouses are most common, driven by urban demand, export potential, food security goals. WAEC questions on greenhouses: define and state functions, compare types, state advantages and disadvantages, explain the greenhouse effect, solar radiation, heat trapping, describe crops grown and management practices.